Hey, boys and girls, it's Miss Ross. Happy Tuesday. We are going to work on lesson 1-2 today, place value relationships. We're going to build on what we did yesterday, thinking about the idea of the place value chart, and also sort of the value of each of those numbers when we did expanded form. Okay, that's really going to help you today with the concept. So I know I'm going to ask some silly questions and you're going to be like, Ms. Ross, I know this, but let's just review. So remember when we have our ones cubes and our rods and our flats and then the big cube, I just want you to sort of think of those in your mind. So I'm going to ask some questions. How many ones blocks are in a 10 rod? So how many remember those one little pieces make up a 10 rod? Well, 10, I know. So then I want you to think about the rods, and then how many of those 10 rods make up the 100 flat? I can hear you all the way from Westwood, everybody. I know you're saying 10, right? So then let's also think about how many 100 flats are in that 1,000 cube. So how many of these flats would make up the cube? 10. Now let's just think, for every one of our questions, we said it was a multiple of 10, right? 10 ones gave me 110. 10 tens gave me 100. 10 hundreds gave me 1,000, right? So there is a relationship when you go up and down the place value chart. We're going to look about going up the place value chart, and the relationship is multiplication. All right, so let's look at our next slide. Awesome. So here we have it in terms of a chart like what you looked at yesterday, right? The ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, and 100,000s, right? And up above, it shows sort of the jumping times 10, what I sort of tried to walk you through with the example before. So let's think about it with some numbers, right? Some digits. Remember, when we're comparing and thinking about the relationship and place value, we have to be comparing the same digits. I can't use a 3 and a 7. I can't use a 5 and a 2. The digits have to be the same for us to think about the relationship between place value. So for the first one we have here is 99, right? And if you think back yesterday to expanded form, 99 means 90 plus 9. So if I think 9 in the ones place times 10, well, 9 times 10 gives me 90, which is the value in the tens place. So there is a relationship between the two place values, right? 9 times 10 gives you 90. So what you would say is 90 is 10 times as many as 9. All right, does this sound familiar? I know in the beginning of the year, some of us were a little confused when we first did this. Let's try one that's a little bit larger. Let's try 440. So I'm going to put that in my place value chart, 440. So the first thing I notice is that the digits are the same. So I can move forward in thinking about comparing them in a place value relationship. I know the 4 here is 40. That's the value. And I know the 4 in the hundreds place, the value is 400. I also think about if I multiply 40 times 10, I get 400. 40 times 10 gives you 400. So there's a relationship between those values. And the way you would say it is 400 is 10 times as many as 40. Okay? Let's try another one. So here we have 89,943. And if you notice, I underlined the nines because the question is, what is the relationship of the 9 digits? Well, the first 9, the first one is this one, is 9,000. The second 9, the value is 900, right? So I know 900 times 10 gives me 9,000. So I would say 9,000 is 10 times as many as 90. Okay, let's try another one. So here I have 44,659, and they're asking me what is the relationship of the 4 digits, right? So I only have to look at these, and I have to think about their value. I know the first 4, the first one, the value is 40,000. And I know the second one, the value is 4,000. I know if I multiply 4,000 by 10, I get 40,000. So again, the same digits, 4, place values right next to each other. So one is 10 times greater than the other. So you would say 40,000 is 10 times as many as 4,000. Let's try another one. Ooh, let's think more about place value. So here, let's see. The school distributes. Distributes is a fancy name or word for gives out. So the school gives out 5,000 pencils. That's a lot of pencils to 10 different classrooms. How many will each class get? Well, as I'm reading this makes me really feel like it's a division question, right? I have a total, I'm breaking them into 10 equal groups, each class, right? So you can think about it as a division problem, but we should also start thinking about it in the terms of place value relationships, right? Because I know there are, how many tens are in 100? 10. How many tens are in 1,000? There are 100 tens in 1,000. So how many tens would be in 5,000? Well, 500. Okay? All right, let's see. Ooh, the class raised $60 a week for the new library. How many weeks will it take them to raise $600? So I have 600, and I really want to know how many times greater is 600 than 60. Well, if I know if I multiply 60 by 10, I will get 600. So the answer would be 10 weeks. All right, let's try one more. Oh, it's a little tricky. All right. In 996,799, how is the relationship between the first pair, here's the first pair, okay, and the first pair of nines the same as the second pair of nines. So here's the second pair of nines. So the relationship between these two, well, that's 900,000 and 90,000, right? They're the same digit and they're next to each other in place value. So I know 900,000 is 10 times greater than 90,000. And then the second pair, right? The second pair is 90 and 9. And I know 90 is 10 times as many as 9. So they're not asking me to compare like next to each other, these two, this relationship and this relationship. Okay, so both pairs of nines have a relationship where the value on the left is 10 times greater than the 9 on the right. Okay, that one seems a little bit tricky. All right, so you guys are going to finish up any extra work that you have for 1-2 today. This is a good review. I think I remember from the beginning of the year, some people had a little bit of a tough time with this. All right, nice job, boys and girls. I will see you tomorrow. Bye.